All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we got some red, purple, Eustass, Captain Kidd action lined up for you today. Let's do this, guys. We're going to get right into it. We're just going to have a little bit of fun in today's video. Super off-meta, random rogue deck here, red, purple, Eustass, Kidd. So let me lay out the video so we can get straight into this. First things first, we're going to check out the deck list. After that, we're going to head over to the sim. We got 5 games to go over on the sim. And then after that, we will check the deck list out one more time. I'll give you guys my final thoughts on it. We'll finish up from there. As usual, I will have everything timestamped in the general description. And I'll have all relevant lists and links like that in the comments section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comments section below. Or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Now, let's do this, guys. Cannot wait to show you these games in this deck list. We got a really fun one lined up for today. All right, let me get this over here. My camera set up, and here we go. So first, we're going to talk about the leader, then we'll go over the list. We have a 5,000 power, 5 life, red-purple Kidd Pirates leader, Eustass Kidd, with 2 different effects on here. One's actually not a good effect, and the other one is a good effect. So the Your Turn effect is if you have 4 or more life, this leader has minus 1,000 power on your turn only. That's not a good thing, right? That's actually, it's very rare you see an effect on any card, much less a leader, that is not good for the leader, that actually hurts the leader. And in the case of red, purple Eustass Kidd, because he is a dual colored leader that can attack and has 5 life, they decided to put this condition on here, this stipulation that kind of nerfs your leader in the early game. But that's okay. Like, you know, like it says there, if you have 4 or more life, this leader has minus 1,000 power. So once you get down to 3 life, you're good to go. You're swinging for normal numbers. But then there's this very powerful when attacking effect to follow up with it, and this will allow you to attack early on if you have to. It has when attacking Dawn -1. This leader gains plus 2,000 power for this turn. Now in the early game, it's just going to help you swing for pretty much a normal attack. It's kind of like you're going to go Dawn -1 to swing for 6,000. But later in the game, when you're a 5,000 power attacking leader, when you have 3 or less life, well, now you're actually starting to swing for 7k just by using a Dawn minus effect. So in the later stages of the game, that's actually very, very powerful. Okay, so there's the leader effects. Let me go ahead and move this leader off the screen, and let's talk about the list. So we're running 2 Kidd and Killer, 4 Nami, 2 Dragon, 2 Rayleigh, 4 Ben Beckman, 4 Sanji, 4 Tony Chopper, 4 Monet, 4 Luffy, 4 Zoro, 2 of the 6-cost Secret Luffy, 4 of the 5-cost Blocker Eustass Captain Kidd, 4 Sanji, the 2k counter, 2 of the 7-cost Sanji, and 4 2k counter Uso Hachi. So real quick, guys, if you are trying to make this and you're on a budget, you don't have to run this card. This is not necessary, and same thing with Rayleigh. Again, if you're trying to build on a budget, what I would recommend is just get rid of 2 of these Monkey D. Luffys here and go +2 of the Sanji. And instead of running the 2 Rayleighs, you can run 2 of the 7-cost Edward Newgate, which is this card right here. Let me bring that up real quick. It is this card right here. You can just run 2 of these. Not a big deal. That will just be an easy 1-to-1 swap. And I think Dragon is around $9 to $10 as well right now. You can trade this Dragon out if you want to for the 4-cost Kidd and Killer. This card right here. It's up to you. And understand real quick with this list, notice right up front here, it's mainly we're going to be messing around with mainly a Straw Hat version of the deck today. There are other ways to build red, purple Eustass Kidd right now. And a lot of people are building in this like, it's kind of like a OTK combo style for the deck, where you're running this 5-cost killer that has on play Dawn -1, choose 1 leader with Kidd Pirates type and set it as active. So in other words, you can attack in with your leader, and you can attack with your leader and then play out this killer card, standing your leader to attack again. So it's like you're paying 5 Dawn to stand up your leader to attack again, and the when attacking effect on this leader is not once per turn. So you'd be able to buff your leader once for the first attack, stand him with the killer, attack again, and buff him again. That is an option, but it's not really what I'm trying to go for with this list. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now, what else? We're not really trying to do that in today's list. We're trying to be more of a Straw Hat feel here, but still a very aggressive list. Notice what we're running here. We're running 2 Kidd and Killer, 2 Dragon, and then we're running 4 Monkey D. Luffy, and then 2 of the 6-cost Luffy, and 2 Sanji. That's 12 rushers, guys. We're running 12 rush cards in this list, and we're also running a very strong curve as well. You know, going first or second, we go turn 1 Nami, into turn 2 Sanji, into turn 3 Luffy, into turn 4 Ben Beckman or Sanji. So it's a very strong curve for the deck. Okay. What else? 12. We do have. I do think we're running 12 2K counters. Yeah, we got 4 Usohachi, 4 Chopper, 4 of the Sanji. We're running a decent amount of blockers. If you do count the Chopper, we run 4 Eustass Kid and 4 Tony Chopper, and we're running Monet to help give us some power reduction, so we can hit bigger targets with our Rayleigh or our Beckman, while also staying very aggressive with our leader. And it also, you know, it's a 1K counter, but it also has an incredibly good synergy with Zoro. So think about if we play out, let's just go on curve going second. We might go turn 1 Monet into turn 2 Zoro, and then we can actually swing in with the Zoro the turn we played it by using the Monet's effect. We can just rest the Monet, attach 2 Dawn to Zoro, smash in for 7, and then if they KO it, we have a decent amount of targets we can hit with Zoro. Now remember, guys, Zoro can only hit red 6,000 power or lower characters. So we can hit this Luffy, but we can't hit like this Captain Kid, right? We can hit this, you know, Sanji or Chopper, but we can't hit this Sanji or this Usohachi. We can't do that. We can only hit red characters with this effect. But it's still pretty good, right? Because if they remove our character and we replace it right away, you know, that's better than nothing, right? Even if you can only cheat out something like a Nami, that could let you draw into something better for the next turn. So either way, I think it's going to be fine. What else? One thing to consider with this deck, I'll probably try to mention this more at the end of the video, is we're running a lot of important cards that cost 4 or greater. So there is some idea to run maybe the event, the new EB-02 event searchers like this one. It's called this one's called Highest Point Reached, and the purple one is called Brand New World, and they both say the exact same thing. They are, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal 1 card with a cost of 4 or more and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So if you're scared of searching over your top end, something like Dragon or Rayleigh or Beckman, because remember, we can search up all the Straw Hat stuff. All the Straw Hat stuff is searchable with Nami, even like the 2K counters and stuff like that. But if you're just more interested in finding your top end stuff, or even this Eustass Kid potentially, well then you might want to mess around with the idea of running these brand new worlds in the place of Nami. You'll lose a little bit of counter power, but I don't think it'll be too much you'll be losing. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. Okay, what else? Some other cards we do need to consider moving forward that I just didn't have time to work into this version of the deck is something like Gum Gum Mole Gun. This is just an incredibly solid card right now. You can pretty much find this in any red deck currently. And then also some other cards would be like Rad Beam, maybe Guard Point. Like, Guard Point's pretty good as well. I can't even find it right now. Here it is. Guard Point, the 0-cost events, those are always solid. But you cannot run Gum Gum Giant in this list because your leader has to be Straw Hat Crew if you want to run Gum Gum Giant. So we can't actually run that, but that's okay. Divine Departure is also a decent, you know, possible inclusion. And then moving into OP11, we might want to make room for something like Honesty Impact, maybe. There might be some idea here. We'll have to see. Okay, but yeah, let me finish up with the list here. Everything else is pretty straightforward, right? We have this whole entire Straw Hat package down here. We are running Eustass Captain Kid in the Eustass Captain Kid deck because the idea is if we have this card down and we use our leader effect, we're actually not losing Dawn. We're just standing. It's almost like when attacking, gain plus 2,000 power and Stand of Dawn is active. So that's, you know, that's obviously very, very strong. And then we have the blockers. Oh, and another blocker. I forgot to mention that this Sanji's another one. I was only talking about Chopper and Eustass Captain Kid. So we actually have 12 blockers in the deck because we have the 2K counter Sanji as well. Okay. I think that's about it. Guys. Let's go ahead and hop into these games and see how the deck is performing. Okay, and I do think there's some potential. I do like to always at least mention, hang on one second, let me move my head back to here, or my camera rather, move off the leader screen, and here we go. Volume is off, speed is on 2x, now it is, there we go. And here we go, I've got a game versus Blackbeard. With a lot of the decks that I try on here that are off-meta rogue decks, that, you know, I try to always say, let me pause and talk about this before we really dive into this game. I always try to mention how good I think a leader is, like how much, you know, potential does the leader have for these off-meta ones. And I think this leader has some potential. I would consider this like a B-tier leader, like somewhere in the middle of the pack. maybe like trying to squeak into A tier. Like, let me say this. I think if we can find the most optimized version of this list, it probably is like on the very bottom of A tier or the very top of B, depending on how your list is, depending on how strict your list is. But I don't think it's like quite in that top tier yet, but who knows, if it gets more support in the future, it could be decent. Okay, so here we go. Now, back to the game. Going against Blackbeard, we're going to be going first. We have the Searcher on curve, but we don't really have a good 3-drop. Hopefully we can find something with this search here. Okay, so we do a top search, and we don't see anything great, just a few 2K counters that we can grab, and we're going to pass the turn back. Okay, Blackbeard's going second. They're going to play out the stage and get some searching done. They're going to get this is my Aram. They're going to find a Vasco shot with that. It's always good to keep track of what the Blackbeard is searching up. We're going to attach 1 Dawn to our leaders. We're going to swing 6. There goes the Vasco shot. We don't know any cards in their hand now. And we're going to play out the Monet so we can get a really nice next turn with Zoro. Zoro is going to be able to attack in right away just by tapping our Monet. If it stays alive, right? If they don't KO it. So they're going to go ahead and use the stage here. Get some searching done. Play out Lafitte. I think they searched up the Lafitte with the stage. And then I think they search up another Lafitte with the next stage here, if I'm not mistaken. No, they actually get a 2K counter, or excuse me, the 1K counter Shiryu, and they're probably just going to use that to trash with the effect. Okay, they actually didn't use their leader effect, but I can't even punish them right here. Feels bad. Okay, they let that card go. I think we're going to swing for 5 right now with the leader. Actually, we might just play out the Zoro first, just in case they have some type of trigger. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose the effect here. Now, I don't mind if they get it. If they take this hit aggressively and I lose my Zoro, I can at least play out another card from it. Okay, so we swing in. They're actually playing very defensively. They're still at full life. They know what Red Purple Eustass Kid can do with like the double attack shenanigans and like going really big. So I think they're trying to keep their life as high as possible right now. They get rid of our Zoro and we cheat out the Sanji. Okay, so we got some good tempo still. We still have a lot of attacks that they have to deal with next turn potentially. Okay, we're on a 5 Dawn turn. We're about to go. We were on a 5 Dawn turn last turn, and now we're going into a 7 Dawn turn, but we don't have any of our 7 cost characters, and they use their leader effect again. That's fine with us. We'll swing for 6. They take it, and I have 7 Dawn left to play with for the turn. I'm trying to do a little bit of math. Okay, it looks like I'm going to play out the Monet just to fill out the board a little bit. And I think we might. It looks like we're going to just play out the Kid and Killer and swing for 5, swing for 5. Okay, they take that hit. Let's see. Okay, and we're going to we're going to swing for 5 more. And then we're going to use the leader effect here and swing for 6. So notice how many attacks we got through this turn. We were able to swing 1, 2, 3, 4 times on a board that only had, 2 or 3 characters at first. So seems good. We'll take that. Now, what do they attack into, by the way? If they don't have a Liberation, they're going to be in quite a bit of trouble. Okay, so they do get the Kuzan here. That's going to cheat out the Shiryu almost for sure. Yep, they get rid of our Sanji. We get to draw a card from that. They're going to swing 7 into 3. Okay, we can't save that. They didn't want to swing 7 into Kid and Killer because they knew I would save it. That's just, I mean, obviously I'm going to save that card, and I literally can't. I had 2 2Ks in my hand. I was going to save that card for sure. Okay, now we have Dragon, though. So Dragon, we don't get to use the effect. We're going to, okay, and they just go ahead and scoop it up right there. So the idea here was I was going to swing for 6, 7, 9, okay, and I was going to go from there because I was going to use the leader effect to minus 1,000, swing in for 6 because I'm still at 4 life, and then swing for 7 with Kid and Killer because he was going to have to take that. But even if he didn't take it, I still would have swung for 9 with Dragon first and then swung with the Kid and Killer afterwards just to get the 7K attack through if I had to. But in this case, he only had a 1K counter, so when I swung in for 6, he had to take that hit. He'd have gotten a Shiryu. I would have swung in for 7 with Kid and Killer. He might have countered out with Van Augur, but then my 9K attack was going through for sure. Okay, so good game to my opponent there. That's a rough matchup for Blackbeard. This is such an aggressive list. It's hard for them to keep up with what we're doing on the board. I know some people might be thinking like, man, he left really early. Well, look at my hand, guys. It's not like things get any better for him next turn. It just gets worse and worse. And once this game gets late, one thing I have to say about Red Purple Eustass Kid is, number one, he has 5 life, so he can extend the game out pretty decently, compared to other dual color leaders. But here's the thing. Once we get later into the game, I'm a 7,000 power attacking leader because I'm going up to 10 Dawn every turn, so I can always Dawn -1. I can just simply always Dawn -1 and then go down to 9 Dawn, and next turn I'm back up to 10. So as the game goes on later and later, this leader effect actually gets very, very powerful. Okay, all right, so that was the first game versus Blackbeard. Now we got a game versus Green Yellow Law. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Green Yellow Law. That's a leader I need to cover again very soon here. I've been neglecting this leader, I have to say. There's like 4 or 5 leaders I try to main right now from the yellow card pool, one from each color. Like red yellow, of course, is Sabo, green yellow is Law, blue yellow is Ace, purple yellow is like Nika, Robin, and black yellow. We're waiting on that one. That was kind of black yellow Luffy for a while, black yellow Lin. Hang on, let me pause and finish this thought. You know, I'm kind of all over the place with black yellow until Koala comes out, then I can lock in. But green yellow Law, really big fan of that leader, but I'm really waiting until OP11 comes out before I play it more when we get access to the beige. Okay, so turn 1, we play out the Nami, which is perfect for us. Turn 1, Law plays out a Luffy. Very slow start for them as well. You know, or excuse me, a very slow start for them. Typically, they'd want to play out like a Caramel or a double Searcher here, but they get out a Luffy. That's fine. We swing in for 5 for our turn. We're probably going to follow up with a Monet. Okay. So we still have not seen an insane start just yet for this deck, like with the curve of like turn 1 Nami into turn 2 Sanji into turn 3 Luffy. We haven't seen that yet. It's only been 2 games though. Let's see if we hopefully we can get one of those games in by the end of today's videos. I can't remember if there are any. I think there's one game where we get it. Okay, they're going to play out the X-Drake, and they have less life than us, so they can rest down one of our 4 cost or lower characters here with the X-Drake's effect, and they can even pull it back to hand potentially. Well, actually, no, they can't this turn unless they have something crazy they're about to play out. They're going to rest down the Monet. We're not even going to try to save that. It's just not worth it this early on. That's fine. We have a target to attack into on the board. We'll take it. They play out a Luffy. Seems good. Okay, we're going to play out the Captain Kid here. We're going to Dawn -1 with the Captain Kid's, with the leader's effect. We get a Dawn back with the character's effect. They let the X-Drake go, and we just pass. We're not going to, you know, we don't have anything else we can do. Plus, this does give them a chance to attack into us, which is really, really nice. And watch this play right here, guys. They get very, very lucky. Watch this. They swing it for 8, and they use their leader effect, and you'll never guess what's on the top of their life. Hey, we have... So, pause. Let me explain what we have lined up here. We have a 5 Dawn turn going into a 7 Dawn Ben Beckman. And look at the card they get off the top of their life. That was just a blind rip, by the way, guys. They just... I mean, unless I missed them setting it, I don't think they did. They played out a Monkey D. Luffy, a X-Drake, and a Monkey D. Luffy, and a Cavendish. So I don't see how they could have set it this turn, right? So that was just a blind rip, if I'm not mistaken. And now they can lock down one of our Dawn. But here's the thing. Because of our character, I think we might be able to get around that next turn. Watch this. Okay, so they get Jewelry Bonnie. They're deciding if they want to play it out or not and lose the life. They choose to do that. Okay, they're like, okay, nice. We're going to lock down their 7 Dawn turn. Now they can't use any kind of 7 cost Ben Beckman. Wrong. That is incorrect. We're going to swing for 4 first. Dawn -1. Getting the Dawn back is active. We're coming in for 6. I'm sure now he's like, oh. So that plan didn't quite work out. We're going to get rid of that Cavendish for sure and just pass the turn. We're not going to swing with Eustass Captain Kid here because I want him to attack into me one more time. Remember how our leader effect works, guys. We need to be at 3 or less life so we can start swinging for 5k baseline attacks, and we don't have that option yet. So they go ahead and play out the Trafalgar Law here, gaining a life. They're going to swing in for 6. We're going to block in 1k. I think we only had a 2k. I was like, wait a minute. I could have just 2k'd because I didn't want to give him the 7 cost Sanji here. Okay, they play out the Luffy. Seems good. And here we go. Let's see what happens next. They're just doing a search right now. They should pass the turn back. Oh, yeah, excuse me. They still were able to pull back a card with their leader effect, playing out the Cavendish, playing out the Luffy again. Seems good. This is what green-yellow Trafalgar Law does. They get tons and tons of value from their leader effect with the searchers and their life. All right, so now they pass the turn back. They're up to 7 cards in hand, but that's okay. We're not really upset about that. Now we're actually going to start going into their board. We're going to play out the Sanji, resting down the Cavendish, getting a Dawn back with our 5 cost blocker. And now we're going to swing some 8s into this card. We are going to go all in on this card here, guys. It's going to be swing 8. He lets it go. Now I'm going to Dawn -1, swing 8 into that card. He lets that go, and we're going to just pass the turn back. We're just going to pass the turn back. Hoping he attacks into us. We do have a blocker to protect our 7Ks if they try to do some insane attack. Just kidding. Hody Jones does exist, guys. Hody Jones exists in this game. So we don't have the blocker anymore. They're going to go 8 into 6. Okay, so they still have 2 other attacks. I only want to save 1 character. Okay, other than the searcher. I don't care about that. We're going to save the 1 attack here. We're going to lose this one, I think. Just kidding. We're going to counter out completely, super aggressively here, and we could potentially go for game this turn here, guys. We could potentially go for game. We have 3 rush cards in hand. We have 3 rush cards in hand here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I think if we just go 7-7, that's going to be 4 cards from their hand or a life, right? Okay, there's the first 7. I think that was a bunch of 1Ks. Okay, well, now we're just going to play out Dragon, I guess. Yeah, pause. So we could have just swung for 15, technically. But here's the thing. Using Dragon and being able to use our leader effect, that was going to be bigger than a 15K attack. Because think of it like this. I know it didn't matter in the end. Because, I mean, who knows? If they had all 2Ks in hand and the 1K they just got from life, who knows? But here's the logic behind it. Okay, if I swing for 15 with my leader, I can Dawn -1 and technically get a 16. Okay, so we were fine either way, but I think it's stronger to swing with Dragon like this because we use 8 Dawn, right? But we still have 2 Dawn left for the turn, and 2 Dawn goes to our leader. So it's like we have a 9K Dragon and a 9K leader in this case. Well, that alone, 2 9Ks, is going to be 3 6 cards from hand. And then if you include my leader ability, then it's going to be 2 more cards from hand, right? Because we'll have a 9K attack and a 11K attack. So maybe it would be 3 cards from hand and 4 cards, excuse me. Okay, we got there in the end. Okay. Either way, good game to my opponent. Absolute brutality here, guys. A very aggressive deck list when we can do a curve of Sanji into Dragon. That's a very aggressive way to curve out. Okay, next up. We got a game versus Buggy. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Okay, now we got the curve against the deck that it probably matters the least against, something like Buggy that can cheat out the 7-cost Buggy that turns off our 3-cost attacks, our 3 and 4-cost attacks. They're going to swing for 7. Of course, I'm seeing all of my 3 and 4-cost stuff against this deck, and we had to go second, which we would not prefer doing. We're going to swing for 5, just get a card out of hand or a life. Okay, we play out the Sanji, and here we go. They're going to swing for 5. I have a feeling I know what they're going to do next. Probably pay 5 and play out the 7-cost Buggy, cheating out a Mihawk. That's usually a good play. Let's see what they get here. Okay, they trashed. Okay, luckily they didn't have the Mihawk. You know, we'll take what we can get here. They luckily did not have the Mihawk. But we don't really have a great turn here. We are down to 3 life, which is good. We're going to play out a Nami, do some searching. We're going to play out the Luffy here, and I think we're going to swing 6. Yeah, we're going to give a Dawn to our leader because they're down to 5 cards in hand. Nice. Okay, they counter out. We'll take it. We'll swing it for 6 more. Does he want to go down to 3 cards in hand? No, he does not. Instead he goes to 6 cards, right? See, that's why you have to really be careful when it comes to pause. So here's the idea, guys. You know, whenever you're taking life or countering out, it's very dangerous to go super low in hand size. Okay, it's really dangerous. Sometimes it is better to just take the hit. And in this case, think about what would have happened. He had 4 cards in hand, right? If he counters out, he goes down to 3 cards, and then he draws a card for the turn to go back up to 4. But in the case where he doesn't counter out, okay, he doesn't go down to 3 cards. He stays at 4. He draws a card from the hit to his life, and he draws a card for his turn. So instead of going from 4 cards down to 3 back to 4, instead he goes from 4 cards up to 5 up to 6 for the turn. You see what I'm saying? So it is something to really consider there. Okay, so they go ahead and swing in for 7. We are just going to take this, and now they're going to swing in for 5. We're going to give them a 1K counter here, and they're going to then they're going to Gravity Blade our board. Seems good. So I have a really awkward turn here where I need to, like, I'm not ready to play out the Beckman, and the Dragon's the pretty much my best call here. Dragon's pretty much my best bet. I'm going to swing for 7. I'm not going to use my leader effect. I want to get to 10 Dawn next turn so I can start filling out the board with some of these smaller characters, and then maybe going for the like the Buggy or something like that on the board. Because one thing, too, I have to mention is when they got rid of... Hang on, we have to go back real quick, guys. I'm sorry. We do have to go back. Watch this. When they play out the Gravity Blade at the end of their turn here, watch what happens. We lose a very, very important card. So they swing 7, we take it. Like I said, they swing 5, we 1K counter out. And we got rid of our Monet because we had one on the board. Then they hit us with a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. They don't hit the Sanji because my Sanji can't even attack. And the Monet is my power reduction. So now, like, what was going to be a turn where I could just, you know, Ben Beckman this Mr. 1 off the board or something like that, now I can't even do that, right? I can't even do that now, which is unfortunate. Okay, I'm not saying that should have been the right play anyway, maybe because we would have had to do something really weird with our Dawn to even pull that off or not get the full effect of Monet. But whatever the case is, we lost the Monet, and that was really brutal for us. So we're going to slam down the Dragon. We'll swing 7, swing 9. I swing 7 at face, and I was hoping he would counter out of this, and then I could go 9 into the Das Bones. And looking back, guys, I think I should have just gone 7 into the Das Bones and then 9 into it, because then that allows him to counter out like this. Yeah, now he can 2K, 1K more easily. Otherwise, it would have taken a lot of cards from his hand. That was just a mistake. And I'm going to be honest, guys. Hang on, pause. So that was just a play mistake. Where's the accuracy meter? Big X right there. Terrible play there. That was just a blunder. We should have gone 9 and 9 into the DOS Bones just to slow him down, because I could have Dawn -1 and still had 9 Dawn on my next turn when I untap. So, it is what it is. That was just simply a play mistake, at least in my opinion. Okay, back to the game. All right, here we go. So they have DOS Bones and the leader. That's all they can attack with. So we're just going to counter out of 1. It looks like we might take this one. I could have countered out, but I really don't want to. Let's see what they do. Maybe they might. I think they have a Crocodile play coming up here. Okay, they play out the Margaret. Seems good. They're going to use the Mihawk. Excuse me, not Crocodile, but Mihawk. They have 2 blockers now. Okay, that 6-cost Luffy might come in very handy this game. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, we will see what happens. Now, right here, I don't want to play the card out yet, but I also don't want to play my Beckman out, so I have to do a super awkward play here. Watch this, guys. I think this is the turn I'm thinking of, where I have to play out like a Kid and Killer just to, use Dawn for the turn so I can use my leader effect. This is such a weird turn right here. I guess I could have played out the Ben Beckman just to trash the Margaret, but I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't do that. I do not do that here. I spend a little bit of time here thinking about the right play, and it's like, man, I really wish I had the Monet now, but I don't, so it is what it is. So now we're going to go ahead, and we do end up playing the Beckman, so this is not the turn I was thinking of. We're going to go 9 into 7. He counters out. Now I'm going to load up 3. I'm going to attack in, Dawn -1. We're swinging in for 10. Pretty much no way he's going to save the card now. Okay, so here we go. They're on a 10 Dawn turn, but they are very low in hand size. But the problem for me is I could lose the game here. So luckily he does swing in for just 5, because I did have 4 2K counters in my hand. And look at this, guys. He's going to play like the safe route where he just blockers up. He plays out, or, he had a blocker. He left his blocker up, but he has the 10-cost Kaido down now. I'm in a super, super awkward position. I need some way to get this Buggy off the board. That Sanji's just been sitting on the board this entire time, can't do anything. We play out a Kid and Killer here. This is the turn I was talking about where it's like, okay, I'm just going to play this out because I'm not playing out my Ben Beckman right now. I need all the counter power in my hand that I can use, and I'm at least going to put something on the board to scare him, and I'm going to try to spook him into maybe trying to remove my Kid and Killer with my Kid and Killer, my Sanji with the Grab Blade. Just anything to put something on the board to have some kind of chance here. But I didn't want to swing for lethal yet with my Monkey D. Luffy because he had 1 life and all those cards in hand. So it's like, okay, we just need to survive 1 more turn. We're going to play out the Tony Chopper. I'm going to present a huge board here where it's like, hey, do I have a Divine Departure in my hand? Only one way to find out. Do you really want to try and find out like that? Okay, they play out the Jozu. They're going to bounce my blocker. I just have to get out of a 9K attack now. Hey, he did push a 2K back to my hand. We can get out of that easily. We'll take this hit no matter where it goes. And they just tap out because now they have no blocker. They have no life. And they can only get rid of 1 character, right? Like, say they attack into my dragon. It's gone. That card's gone. I can't defend it. But then on the crackback, I'm going to be able to swing for 7 with my... what's his name here? The Ben Beckman, and then I'm going to be able to swing for, I think, what is it? I think it would be swing. So swing 7 with Beckman, play out the 6-cost Luffy. I need all 4 Dawn as active. Use my leader to swing in for 7 by Dawn -1 by using his Dawn -1 effect, and then with the Luffy, I'll be able to attach 2 Dawn to my Luffy to swing 9, returning the 2 active Dawn and swing for 9 more. So we had that in full control there. We just had 1 turn where things were a little scary when he didn't attack with the Mihawk. But yeah, it is what it is. Good game to my opponent. That was a rough one. That was a close game. Buggy's a tough matchup against these the decks that have a lot of 3 and 4 cost characters. Okay, next up we got a game versus Vegapunk. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. And here we go. Okay, still waiting for that perfect curve going first. There it is. Okay, I was going to say, I know there was a game where I did have like a really strong curve. Maybe not perfect, but I had a really strong curve. So here it is. We got turn 1, Nami finding the Sanji, and then going into another Sanji for the draw. We're going to Dawn -1 to keep the pressure on. No trigger from them. We'll take that every time. That was super risky attacking into Vegapunk that early, but oh well. We had to try something. I remember this game now. This game's kind of a banger. I'm not going to lie. This is a fun one here. Okay, so they pop the Sanji with a Nami, and we draw a card. We get into the 5-cost Eustass Kid here. If I had known I was going to get that card, we would have not done the Dawn -1 attack last turn. But oh well, it is what it is. So the Kid and Killers are very strong in this matchup because our opponent starts at 2 life, so they're online immediately. But do we want to play that out? I think the answer is no. Yeah, I like the idea of just playing this card out. I'll swing in for 7 just to get around his blocker. Okay, he ends up taking it, and he gets a trigger this time, as to be expected. They're usually going to hit a trigger. It's not even like luck or anything like that. They're going to hit a trigger most of the time from life, especially when they start setting their own life. So they set up a Please Save Me, and I request our help, and then they play out the Sanji, the new EB-02 Sanji. That's a nice card in Vegapunk, I have to say. It is going to cost you the full 5 every time because it's not an Egghead card. I don't believe it is. I think it's just Straw Hat and something else. So we're going to go ahead and play. They swing in, and now we have something to attack into on the board. We get out the 5 cost 6K blocker. We're going to go swing 6, swing 7. We're clearing up their board a little bit. And remember, their leader cannot attack, and they don't want to attack with their blockers. So while this board looks intimidating, it's really just not. It's really not that scary. Okay, let's see if they want to give me a card or not. They can swing into my Bonnie here. Oh, wow. Okay, they're going to play out the Nami. Seems really good. Getting rid of my blocker, and they cycle a card. And then they're going to swing 6 into my Sanji. I get to draw a card. Seems good. And now we have Ben Beckman online. We're going to be able to start trashing stuff, getting stuff out of our way. We're going to play out the Ben Beckman here and probably trash one of the blockers. Yeah, I like the Sanji there. Just get him out of the way. Okay, then we swing for 6 into 5. They counter out with Edison. That's actually very interesting to me. That's actually really, really interesting. Okay. Let's see what they do next here. They're going to play out Shaka. Then they're going to play out a Pythagoras. Okay. And then they're going to probably swing for, some 7s. We're going to take the first one. I think we should counter out of this one. We do counter out of the second 7. And now we get to attack into their board. Okay. Well, guys, we kind of survived here. We're going to use the Sanji's effect, and we're going to swing 8 into that, and then 7 into this card. And we're doing pretty well now. We've cleaned up their board. Their hand is gone. We're not going to attack into their life. We don't care about their life in this situation. It doesn't matter to us. They're going to play out a Vegapunk, playing out a Pythagoras. And that on KO is very tricky, guys. Make sure you know what Pythagoras' on KO does. And it's one of the reasons you shouldn't gain so much life. We'll talk about it in a minute. So they're going to swing for 7. We are going to take that, but now we have something to attack into. Again, we're just going to do blank attack, 7 into 6. He lets it go. And we are going to, I think we're going to remove this Pythagoras here. I could be wrong. I can't remember exactly. But it has an on KO. Let me see something. We're going to swing for 7. They might even give the blocker here so they can bring that back with an I request our help. Okay, we're just going to swing for 5. They use the I request our help. This is going to let them bring back the Vegapunk, which can bring out another Pythagoras. Okay. And here we go. I think we're just probably going to block her up, maybe establish a board a little bit. I do like playing out the Ben Beckman here. I'm not going to lie. Get rid of one of those Pythagoras because it's an attacker. Play out the Nami, set up our next turn. That was a lot of good cards we just lost. That was Dragon and Rayleigh and a Beckman, I believe. We just lost, or a Sanji or something. That was a really good, those were some really good cards we just lost out on there. Okay, they're going to swing in for 11 into what? They're going to swing in for 12, 13, 14, okay, 15 into our face. We're going to have to take that. We can't get out of that. They're going to use leader effect, and they're going to put a card into their life, and here we go. I think we still have to swing into the Pythagoras, and you might be wondering, why didn't he use the on KO effect? I was wondering the same thing at first, like thinking, wait, where are the cards? Well, guys, the Pythagoras on KO effect says if you have 2 or less life, right? That's the thing, is they have to have 2 or less life cards in order to, use the effect. So now we are going to have to start playing out some blockers here. We do have to try to survive. Attacking in is a little bit greedy. I think we should just block her up and pass and go for next turn. We'll start dealing with stuff next turn. Okay, they're gonna. So there's the Pythagoras, guys. Again, let me try to go back to it real quick. I'm gonna try to pause right on it. Let me see, right there. If you have 2 or less life, summon a 4 cost or below with Egghead from your trash rested. So guys, they actually can't use this on KO effect when they have more than 2 life. Okay, now they have 2 life, so it'll work. Okay, so you got to be careful of that. All right, so here we go. Let's see what they choose to do here. They gain a life. Okay, and then they're going to swing in with the Pythagoras. I don't know what to say, guys. I'm just going to block out of this to stay at 1 life, and now I'm going to smash into that card, and they can't get the on KO. I'm going to go 7s into it across the board. He needs to just let it go, because we're not attacking their face. So that is something I have to say, guys. If you're a Vegapunk player and you're listening or watching this, be sure to take that into consideration. You have to be very, very careful with how that works. So we're going to swing it for 5. We're going to give him the Atlas here. We have to do this very methodically here, guys. We have to do this very, very methodically. They're going to smash in every single time to get through a blocker, but we're just going to keep playing blockers every turn until we run out of them, and then we'll try to win on a turn once we run out of blockers. Okay, they get a Pythagoras into life. They have more life than us, so we get to swing into that. Now we're finally going to start probably smashing in here a little bit. Yeah, smash in with the Pythagoras. I think we need to set up for one more turn. I think the idea here is we need to set up for just one more turn and see what happens. We're going to swing for 7. Or we're thinking about it. We're really considering swinging for 7 here. Yeah, I think we are going to swing for 6. They actually take that. They get I request our help. The trigger. Let's see what they pull out of the trash. I swing with the I swing with this card first, so they couldn't hit me with a Nami, by the way. I mean, they could hit me with a Nami on the blocker, but it'd be too late. So right here, it looks like I'm trying to attack in super aggressively. I'm going to swing for 7. They give me the blocker, and I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty good. We got one blocker out of the way. We'll just play out this Tony Chopper, and I think we might just pass the turn because they can't get both attacks through unless they have some kind of, you know, removal in hand, and then I would be in trouble. I'm not going to lie, because we only have 4K counter in hand. All right, they're going to swing for 12, so I think we should just take this because now they can't just get through. Like, I need to take this hit here and just hope they don't have some way to get through with the rest. And then I got a 1K, so then I'm fine even if they had a way to get through and swing for 9. Because even if this was a Nami to KO my Tony Chopper, the idea is I would be able to still get through, or still counter through with what I have in hand because I have 9K counter in hand. Or, excuse me, I have 2, 3, 4, 5K counter in hand to get to 10 to get out of a 9K attack. That's what I was trying to say. All right, here we go. Let's see what they choose to do here. We're going to swing for 5, and we are going to start swinging, guys. We're swinging for 5. We're swinging for 7. This turn is brutal. We're going to swing for 7. I request our help, so now they can't hit me with a Nami to get rid of my guy, but they have 3 blockers. Okay, well, we still got 5 attacks. We still have 5 attacks, guys. That's correct. I did not miscount. We have 5 attacks still. Swing 7. Swing 7. They got to be running out of gas here soon. They counter out. They're probably thinking, okay, I got him. Not so much. We're going to swing for 7. There goes one blocker. Play out this guy. Load up a Dawn. I should have loaded one Dawn. That's okay. We're going to stand him up. Smash in. GG. We just swung. We were able to swing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times this turn, guys. 8 attacks that turn. Let me count one more time. We swung with the Chopper, the Eustass Kid, the character, the Beckman, the Sanji, the other Beckman, our leader, and then 2 times with the 6-cost 7K. We went through, how many blockers did we go through? Hang on a second, guys. We got to count real quick. We got to count this real quick. All right, so this, no, that was too far back. All right, here we go. It was a turn we had the Chopper down. They attack in. Okay, here we go. So this turn right here, we got through a Shaka, a Vegapunk, and something else. Let me see. Yeah, so we swung in. They got the Shaka. They take this, get the Vegapunk. Okay, so we went through 3 blockers and 2 life right here just to get through that. That was wild, guys. That was a crazy game. All right, good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. But, guys, Red Purple Eustass Kid with this new 6-cost 7K Rush Luffy, not too bad. It allows you to do some crazy alpha strikes at the end of the game. All right, we got one more game. This last one here is against Red Purple Luffy. And we have 5 life. They only have 3. We have a lot of big attacks. Let me see something. Volume's off. Speed's on 2x. Okay, we're good to go. Yeah, we have 5 life. We can get to 6,000 power very, very easily with this deck. We have Monet in hand, and we have a ton of rush cards. This is kind of a nightmare matchup for them. Okay, we're going to play out the Monet, and we do have an idea this turn. We're going to try to keep on the pressure. Watch this, guys. We're going to load this on, swing for 5, Dawn -1. We're swinging for 7. Let's get a 2K out of hand early and go from there, or an event. Whatever they'll give us. They take a life, we'll take that. They're going to play out a Mr. 2 Boncray Bentham, ramp a Dawn, swing for 7, we'll take it. We're going to play out the Zoro. We're going to put 2 Dawn on there. We're going to swing for 7. Let's see what they do here. They 2K counter out, and now we're going to swing for 6. We're going to Dawn -1, and we are swinging for 6, guys. We're going for it. We have to keep the pressure on here. I think it's our best bet. We are at 3 Dawn now. We're going to be at 5 next turn. Which is going to give us, you know, something to play out the Luffy. And hopefully they attack into our life one time here so we can keep, you know, we can get our power back on our leader. They're going to play out the Hachi, I guess, just for board presence. I'm not exactly sure. They attack into Zoro. We let them have that. And then they attack. Hang on, pause. They did not go for Monet. They completely disrespected Monet there, and we are not upset about that because we are going to punish them even more now. So they attack into us, taking us down to 3 life. Now we have a 5,000 power leader, and we're in a good spot now, guys. Okay, Nami is going to get a free attack into this this Mr. 2 Boncray Bentham. We're going to swing 6 at face first, though. I have another play in mind. We'll see what they do. We're going to attach 2 on here, -1 to the Bentham. Now we're going to swing 2 into it with the Nami. Now we're going to swing it for 7 and 7 more. This guy is in trouble, guys. This guy is in trouble. This game's pretty much over. Right, we have 3 life. He's going to have to time warp Luffy and everything here just to try to have a chance here, and I just don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to be able to swing 3 with the Hachi into my Nami, but I don't even think he cares about that right now, or at least into the Monet. At least try to get rid of this Monet. We let that card go. He swings into Monet there. Well, we're actually going to save that, and he's going to 6 into it. Okay, it's gone. All right, well, we're on a 7 Dawn turn, and we're actually just going to go Kid and Killer here, swing 8, and then we're going to swing 6, and then 6 more, and then 10, I think it is. Yep, attach a Dawn there. Swing 6, attach a Dawn there. Okay, pause. Let's see what we would have been at. So we swung for 8 with the Kid and Killer first, just because that was a 4 Dawn investment. It was really a 5 Dawn investment, I guess, to get in there for 8 and try to get past any events he had. And then we're going to swing 6 to get a card out of hand. Swing 6 more to get a card out of hand, attaching 2 Dawn to our leader from those 2 attacks. We had 2 more Dawn to put on our leader, putting him at 9k, and then the leader effect would have put him at 11k as our final attack. Good game to our opponent. This is a really rough matchup for them, even though they probably could have played a little more optimally. I didn't think they chose the best targets to attack into. Okay, but good game to our opponent there. That was a fun one. All right, guys, well, here's the list. I have to say something right now. Red currently has a very, very strong curve right now. So no matter what leader you're running, there is a generically powerful curve you can run right now for any red deck you're running, any red leader, and it is 1 cost Nami. And I'm going to do the 1 through 5 of just like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have a 1 cost Nami, a 2 cost Monet, a 3 cost Sanji, a 4 cost Zoro, and a 5 cost Luffy. That little combination of cards there, guys, is extremely, extremely good. And then you also have access to cards like Beckman, cards like Rayleigh. And I'm going to be honest, guys, with this red, the red package you see right here, you can pretty much put this in any red deck you want to, and it will work. It will work every single time. Yes, there is some chance of like searching over some of your top end cards with something like Nami, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest, guys. You know, you just curve out with a deck like this, and you can search up a lot of really good stuff. So again, with this package you see right here, nothing on here is leader locked, nothing is color locked or anything like that. I mean, technically this card is color locked, where you can only cheat out a 6,000 base power or lower non-Zoro red card from your hand. But other than that, like, all of this is very much open cards. Like this Sanji, it doesn't matter who your leader is. This Beckman doesn't care who your leader is. All this is just generically powerful red stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say. And the purple stuff is really just kind of it's just really good purple utility cards, right? We have this new Alpha Strike option with this new Luffy. We have, you know, 5 cost Eustass Kid with this Eustass Kid just makes sense. The 7 cost Sanji is just incredible. And then this 2k counter Hachi, just incredible. Okay, not a whole lot to add at the end here, guys. I kind of already talked about what I wanted to add earlier in the first part when we broke down the deck list. It's really just a matter of, like, do you want to run defensive events? You can. Like, do you want to go more aggressive or more defensive with where we're at right now? Because if you go more defensive, it doesn't become like a controlled defensive deck, but it does become more of like a mid-range beater deck that can kind of shift gears later in the game. Like a mid-range, like, tempo bruiser deck that has control in the late game. But if you keep it the way it is, this is more of like an aggressive, this is more of an aggro deck that has a little bit of defensive capabilities later in the game. But I will say it probably would not hurt to add something like Divine Departure to the list, guys, because this or this card right here, the Gum Gum Mole Gun. This would be a good addition to help us get through some stuff, maybe. But Divine Departure deals with that Buggy. I mean, I will say we were still able to beat Buggy regardless with the kind of deck that we have here, because it does swing pretty aggressively, and we can kind of Alpha Strike them later in the game if we have to. But at the same time, it's nice to have options. It is nice to have options, I will say. But yeah, something like Divine Departure, maybe. Maybe something along the lines of Rad Beam or Guard Point. Honesty Impact when we get to OP 11. Gum Gum Mole Gun. This is just a good option. It's also good to have other type options like Nora Beam Sword. This is a really strong defensive option. Gamma Knife, great option here to reduce power and go from there. This is actually probably one of the better cards we could choose. And at that point, we could even replace Nami with a few things. Either A, Trafalgar Law, or B, the card right here, when you're at CU Fight Pirates. This can let you search up even your Eustass kids and things like that, or your Kitten Killers. So there might be some logic to run this card and then swap over to some Gamma Knives and things like that. And then the only thing you won't be able to search in the entire deck is Beckman, Rayleigh, and Dragon. Only 8 cards in the whole deck you won't be able to search up. Oh, and Monet, I guess, technically. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to get Monet, but still. That's not really a card we're going for, especially when the card we would be going for is the Gamma Knife in that kind of situation. So yeah, there's some options there. What about, what's it called? 1 cost. We can't run Gum Gum Giant, but we can run Blast Breath. This card here, this is a 1 cost 4K. This one's solid. But because we have access to red, I think we would just run Guard Point over that, or excuse me, Rad Beam over that pretty much every time. Now, as far as OP11 goes, this is just an EB-02 list right here that we're looking at. Whoops, that's not OP11. So here we go. So for the OP11 cards, there are some new, some really cool new tools we're gonna have access to when that comes out. Number 1 being Katakuri. This card is just really good. Guys, this is just a really good card. And if you do want to make this into more of like a tanky mid-range bruiser deck, this is your guy, right? Hey, this is your guy right here. And at that point, if you're able to squeeze something like this into the deck, there might be some logic to run the 9-cost Kaido. Let me just go to 9-cost Kaido real quick. Or even Lin. This is always an option as well that I'm not running. I really love this card. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't even think about this card. This is another option, guys. If you cannot afford the 6-cost Luffy or the 8-cost Rayleigh, great option right here. Or even this Rush Luffy. But no, going into OP11, there might be some logic behind running Kaido if we're going to run the 8-cost Katakuri and making this more of like a mid-range bruiser style deck that has a little more defensive capabilities. This Kaido, it really helps you secure the mid-game. 9 cost, 10,000 power, on play, Dawn -5, KO is 6 or less, and then this character gains Rush. Well, if you have down the OP11 Katakuri, you're going to be getting 3 Dawn back per turn. And then, so think about that. So you'll be at, so say you play this out on 8 Dawn, right? Say you play this card right here out on 8 Dawn, and then your opponent, they go to their 9 Dawn turn, and then we go to our 10 Dawn turn, and we play out the 9-cost Kaido going down to 5 Dawn. Well, we'll go up to 6 Dawn at the end of turn with this Katakuri, and then next turn we're back up to 8 Dawn. And if we had a a Eustass Captain Kid on the board when we did the 9-cost Kaido play, well, guess what? Now we'll actually be right back to 9 Dawn, because we would spend 5 from 10 going down to 5. We'd get 1 Dawn back with this Captain Kid and 1 Dawn back at the end of turn with the 8-cost Katakuri. We're up to 7, and then when we untap for our next turn, we're back up to 9, and we can start smashing again. So there is some options there. There's a lot of different potential there. Other than that, I don't think there's really anything else we want to consider. Remember, guys, we can't run Gear 2. Your leader has to be a blue-purple leader to run this event, so that's unfortunate. Honesty Impact, like I said earlier, this is a definite card to consider. This is a really good card that we need to have, keep in consideration. It's a great card. What else? That might be it, guys. There's not a whole lot of stuff coming out of OP11 that could help this list. If I missed something, by all means, tell me, guys, in the comment section below. Maybe there is something else we can consider. But I think just the 8-cost Katakuri and the 6-cost Honesty Impact. What else? We got Clay Web. This is a 2-cost Navy and Sword event. Give up one of your leader characters plus 2,000 power during this battle. Then if your opponent has a 6,000 power or more character, give up one of your leader characters plus 1,000 more. Not really. We don't really like that. Like, that doesn't really matter for us too much. And then Excalibur, give up to 2 of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. Then up to one of your Navy type characters gains plus 1,000. Now that's actually not bad. We don't care about giving a Navy character the 1,000 buff. That doesn't matter. The trigger pops a 4,000 power or less character. That also doesn't really matter. But being able to give 2 of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power for the turn, we can combo this for 2 Dawn with something like Rayleigh or Ben Beckman, and we can pop a 6,000 power, or excuse me, an 8,000 power character. So that card's not bad. Excuse me, but I think we have better options with something like a Gamma Knife. So, you know, anyway, just throwing that idea out there. All right, well, that's about it, guys. That's all I got for y'all today. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. We're going to wrap this video up. Look at the outro screen on here. Red Purple Eustass Kid, man. That is a, this was a fun one here. Very, very aggressive list, but I had a lot of fun running it. Definitely recommend trying it out. I'm not saying it's like a top tier deck. Do not be misunderstanding of what I'm saying here, but I think that the deck might surprise a lot of people. And it probably has more to do with the red package that comes along with it. Just that very, very solid, you know, red curve package that's out right now. It kind of can carry any red deck to a certain level, and then your leader has to do the rest from there to try to make it unique or fun or whatever you want to do with it. Anyway, hopefully that made sense. I'm just kind of yapping right now, just kind of rambling. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Today was a really fun one. Red Purple Eustass Kid. Always a good day on the channel when we got the Red Purple Eustass Kid on here. All right, I'm done. Guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Big shout out to everybody who's supporting the channel. Guys, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're supporting me with donations through Patreon or PayPal, becoming a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, hopping on the Discord community, however you're helping me out, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. This community is incredible. We will be streaming tonight. We stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. here on YouTube, like here on YouTube. So be sure to hop on and hang out with us and talk One Piece. I really try to get. I'm pretty interactive with the chat. I try to read every message when I can. You know, I try to always read every single message I can. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. Till next time, guys. Peace.